Hi, I'm Khalid Bryan, real estate broker with Bryan Orange Group LLC in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. If you've ever considered a career of real estate, you're thinking of getting your license, wondering what it takes to get in, it honestly doesn't take much. You must be 18 years of or older, a high school diploma or GED, pass a 63-hour course. This course can be done online or in person in a classroom. I personally did my course online. I found that it cost a lot less. I think I paid maybe $100 and something on Groupon. I found the course. Though the in-person program may be better for you, it really depends on you as a student. I don't have a problem sitting there locking myself in a room for 2-3 hours a day just reading on a computer. So obviously the online version was fine for me. If you need someone in your face that you can ask questions for, maybe consider the coursework. It will cost a little more, but I mean, if you can knock it out first time around and just be more comfortable, then I think it's worth the extra money. Once you're done with this 63-hour course, whether you've done it online or in person, there's a course final you have to pass. If I'm not mistaken, you need at least a 70% on this course final. If you fail it the first time, you have to wait 30 days before taking it again. If you fail it that second time, you have to retake the entire course. So it's very important that you take your course selection into heart and really know yourself as a student. Though the online course is cheaper, if you don't think you're gonna sit there, do the work, and actually pass, it may be worth the extra $100 or however much it is to go to a brick and mortar classroom. Once you've passed your course final, the final step is to send out your application, send in your fingerprints, and there's going to be a state exam. Whether you've done your coursework online or in person, this state exam has to be in person. We had to go to a Pearson VUE testing center where you will be monitored during this course, during this exam. The exam is 100 questions. It's 45% real estate law, so you could say 45 questions, principles and practice of real estate, and there's 10 math questions. A little trick, I think, if you spend a little more time studying the math and you can try to get a 10 out of 10 on the math questions, it's a little less pressure to get through the principles and practice and real estate law. More so, that comes down to your test taking ability. If you can remember, there may be 2 right answers, but one of them is more right than the other, you should be fine. Even if you're not a good test taker, don't worry. The state exam, you can take it over and over and over. You can take it as many times as you need to, but you will have to pay the testing fee. If I'm not mistaken, when I took the test, it was $35. Now that you finished school, you passed your 63-hour course, passed the course final, passed your state exam, you're ready to start looking for a broker. Another video for another day when it comes to broker selection, but just make sure you pick the broker you're comfortable with, because you don't want to make a habit of keep switching brokers every few months, every few years, because you really got to think about the long run. You got to change your email address, you got to change your business cards, you got to change all your signs, all your marketing materials. Everything that you've branded and built up in this broker, branding your career, is going to have to change every time you do. So pick somewhere you think you're going to be comfortable, settle in, and hopefully you have a long, successful career with that broker before maybe you decide to start your own team, start your own brokerage. One thing that most people won't tell you, well, one thing that isn't openly broadcasted once you become a real estate agent is after you pick a broker, you have to join the National Association of Realtors. Personally, I'm familiar with the Miami Board of Realtors, which I'm a member of. These memberships generally range about $500 a year to say $900 a year, depending on your license. And once you've passed all your schooling, hooked up with a broker, joined the National Association of Realtors, you're pretty much ready to rock and roll. Once you're going, there are a couple things I think you should keep in mind. You will need reliable transportation, and it must be insured, adequately insured. Most brokers will even require that your vehicle be insured as long as you're with that office. The last thing you need is to be on a showing and slam into your client's car, or have a client in your car on the way to a showing, you get in an accident, and what's going to happen with that client. So please make sure you're adequately insured and covered before getting into this. There is a lot of driving. I'd say I spend more time driving than I do in the office. I spend more time driving than I do in front of a computer. So please bear in mind you will need reliable transportation. Not to say you have to have the nicest car. Do what you can with what you can. Just keep in mind, make sure your maintenance is up to date. Make sure you have good tires, especially here in Florida where it rains almost every other day. Be protected. As a real estate professional, selling does come first. Get the property sold for the highest price in the fastest time if you're working with the seller. Get the property purchased in the fastest time for the best value without overpaying if you're working with a buyer. But more often than not, you're a problem solver. You're gonna come across all types of situations, all types of issues, all kinds of miscellaneous, random, heart-wrenching things. I've had people cancel transactions the day before closing. I've had clients decide, you know what, 2 weeks into the transaction, I don't like the neighborhood. So creativity, the ability to solve problems, the ability to handle yourself under pressure, honesty, reliability, accountability, these are all factors that are gonna need to come into play once you decide to get into this career. Biggest of all is empathy and being a people person. You can't put yourself, once you're coming into this business, you are no longer first. The needs of your clients have to always come before the needs of yourself. I know you need a commission, you haven't had a sale in a month, this is kind of what they want, but if their heart isn't really in it, they don't feel this is truly the home for them, you have to understand this is a major purchase, this is a major sale, this is a major decision in someone's life, and while it just may be another paycheck for you, for them it's potentially a 10-15 year decision. So feel free to give me a call. Let me know if you guys have any questions whatsoever, whatever I can do to help. I'm always happy to talk. If I can steer you in the right direction, that will be a blessing to me. I mean, I'm just happy if I can help one person. So give me a call, give me a shout, give me an email, we can meet. If you are considering a career in real estate, by all means, I'll be happy to meet with you, answer any questions you may have, give you some pointers when it comes to your exams, or even refer some books that I've seen that's good for practice. Until next week, take care.